everybody. What the flick? We are back with more reviews of Agent Carter, episodes 2-2 and 2-3, A View in the Dark, and Better Angels. I was at Sundance last week, but now I get to be here. Yay! I love Agent Carter, and I saw the first season. And,
I didn't, so I'm so glad you're the captain now.
All right, and with us, of course, is Meredith Placko and Kim Horcher. So, coming right along in this particular season, I love Agent Carter's adventures in Hollywood. It's a lot of fun, and it gives them a lot of an excuse to finally use locations closer to where they're actually shooting.
Yeah.
It's very convenient, but also just the fake history of Hollywood. And one of the things we saw in these two episodes was Howard Stark, who is of course basically Howard Hughes, making his Western based on the comic book character Kid Colt, who actually didn't appear in the comics until after this episode was set, but in the Marvel Universe is based on a real guy.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
I like that in-joke of a comic book movie. No.
Oh, it never worked.
I didn't like that
Is it a
joke.
little too on the nose?
I thought it was really smarmy of them to even do the
I
joke.
thought it was cute at least.
That's what the ABC shows do. I mean, let's be honest. They kind of hit things on a little too much
Shield
on the
does
head.
that too, right?
Yeah, they do.
It didn't offend me, but a part of me was just like,
beat you over the head with it.
I get it, Agent Carter. One thing I do love though is that we've got our one of our new villains, Whitney Frost, seems to be
so fascinating.
She's great. I love her and her husband for two reasons. One, they are villains with human frailties. They're doing what they do out of fear and neuroses and anxiety. That is so much more interesting as a villain than just mysterious government agency.
Well, and that's something Marvel's been doing really good with their villains, especially in the Netflix and the TV series, is they've been giving a lot of great backstory and character to their villains. Also with Whitney Frost / what hopefully we'll see as Madame Mask. I love her. In the comics, literally when Madame Mask comes up in a comic, I will put it down and I will stop reading because I hate Madame Mask. She is a terrible, terrible villain in the comics.
Why is that?
Okay, really? Okay, so she's kind of the Talia al Ghul of the Marvel Universe.
But not as good as
But
Talia.
not as good as Talia. She's a cheap knockoff. And she's literally insane. She kind of fawns over Tony or whoever she falls in love and is obsessed with. And she's just, there's no agency there. There's no interest. She's just kind of boring. She fell into a vat, had her face marred, has a mask. She's just boring, poorly written, not compelling, bores me to tears. I don't care for her at all.
But she has
I
so
just
many
barely
layers
remember
now.
But yeah,
She has that human
she's
frailty and
fantastic.
fear, and also that level of vanity. I love how we have. I maybe you and I related to her more than Bibbs might. As trying to she's so
I'm
much
worried
of
about how
her
pretty I
is
am.
important. It's based on her looks, and she's getting railed at.
Yeah.
And then at the end, her savior is this creep.
Yeah. Well, I one of the things I actually love about her is that they seem to have taken their inspiration from actress Hedy Lamarr, who was a huge movie star and also basically invented Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You're watching this now because Hedy Lamarr was smart.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that because it seems like a thing that's like, oh, she's a big Hollywood movie star and she's a scientist. That might seem weird. Hedy Lamarr makes that totally fun.
Yeah, and
it's so cool.
I think bringing that element in for Whitney Frost is a fantastic characterization, and again, where they're this season of Agent Carter, which I like more than last. Well, obviously we're dealing with sexism, ageism, obviously racism. They're not beating us over the head with it yet.
It felt subtle.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely feel for Wilkes when he says, this Leclerc guy, he's hardly the outlier. Everyone's like this. And then he was so happy about Howard just inviting him in.
Yeah, I like that they're tackling the race thing a little bit, but they're not being too on the nose with it. There was that bit where Wilkes invites Agent Carter to a bar, and it's a bar that only serves black people, and white people too, but you know what I mean. And
It's a safe, it's more catered for black people.
yeah, and he was like, I
male and
wanted
pale.
to go somewhere where we wouldn't be noticed, and I'm like, I think people will notice. I think people at least go, huh. Interesting, and then I'll move on. But if you look at that scene, there are more people of color in that scene in the background than every other Marvel movie and TV show combined. That's
That says
but
a lot.
But at least we're doing it, and at least we're covering it a little bit. Wilkes is a fun character. I'm not entirely sure if now that he's phased out of existence, whether or not
He exists.
He exists,
He's
but
just non-corporeal.
Is he hungry? Does he need sustenance?
I don't think
he
so.
eats or
Yeah, uses the bathroom.
But he has some physical substance if you cover him in silver nitrate, which shouldn't he be silver?
He's not. Well, then he'd be like the Silver Surfer.
Then,
and Marvel
no,
doesn't
that would
own
be
the rights.
weird.
Yeah, we can't.
He'd
do
just
that,
be
yeah.
some silver dude.
No,
The silver dude.
The silver
guy.
dude.
No, I think
Hey.
The silver scientist.
I think what they're doing, especially with dark. Or they're calling it dark matter.
No, it's
Zero
zero
matter.
matter.
Sorry,
but
yeah,
it's
dark force.
Dark force.
Yeah, sorry. So what they're doing with the whole zero matter thing is we've heard that they're tying this in loosely to Doctor Strange, which is going to deal with other universes, other worlds. Extra-dimensional
so
stuff.
on, yeah.
So I think what we're going to see is that Wilkes kind of exists in this other dimension, and
Maybe he's the in-betweener.
yes.
That'd
Yeah.
be kind of neat.
So it'd be really interesting to kind of get a little dive in there.
Yeah, I love. I'm trying to remember. I don't think this was introduced in the first episode because I watched them all together when I got back from Sundance. I love that because Peggy Carter keeps getting like kind of James Bondy gadgets, and like the first one is just like but it's a Carter with a gun holster, and like neat. And the other one is she gets Howard Stark's sex car.
I know. I love that.
That's a fun.
She's like,
it's a fun thing.
and I love her attitude. Like, oh God, when I thought he couldn't get any more gross. Also, is that a mirror? Oh.
It's a lot of fun, and I love this show, and I loved the first season of this show. And some people thought it was a little too on the nose with its sort of feminism and its girl powerness. It had to be. There was no way to tackle it without literally just fighting the man.
I agree.
And
I
thought that's inspiring.
I think it was. I just felt it was too. Even for me, I felt it was like just a little too much because they had to beat you over the head with it, and that's why I'm liking this season a bit more because they're reining in. They're making it a little bit more subtle about everything, but they're still making their point. And I think because there's so many more topics to cover, I think they're able to introduce it better. Also, they have legs to stand on, and I'm enjoying it. I actually think I'm enjoying second season more than I am first season.
I really like. I don't know if this happened in the first season. How Peggy interacts with other women.
Yeah.
So she and Jarvis's wife Anna immediately friends.
Yeah.
She and Sousa's girlfriend.
Almost
immediately
fiancé?
friends.
Yeah. There's a positivity to the show, even when it's being negative. It's just because Peggy Carter is such an interesting and strong character, and not just strong punchy, but strong as a person. That is really, really cool, and it's one of the reasons why I love the show, and it's one of the reasons why I'm really glad we get to review it. But unfortunately, we are out of time. So thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week with more reviews of Agent Carter, and we'll also try to be back with the X-Files if we can. Take care.